All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. Be ready for some high-speed action tonight. Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Riverside International. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. The High Octane Racing League Buschwackers Series heads to Riverside tonight for a little road course action. Classic road course. Riverside International doesn't exist in real life anymore, but we have it right here in rFactor 2. We're going to be bringing you the race live here tonight. We got a little bug going on here tonight, but we're going to work our way through it. 35 laps. Hang on, boys and girls. It's about ready to get wild. It's Riverside. Well, the High Octane Racing League Buschwackers Series at Riverside for some classic road course action tonight. It's all live right here on TurnLeftTV. Let's get this party started. All right, hey, thank you so much for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Thanks for sticking to that, man. We had a little trouble there. As soon as I started streaming, I lost my internet connection, so I mean, like full on everything shut off. Had to unplug the modem, plug it back in, wait for that thing to cycle back around. But we're back, I think. These guys are in the qualification session, and we're running a little bit late here tonight. And again, thanks for joining us here on TurnLeftTV. Hopefully, we've got a full broadcast in store for you. And again, thanks for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Peace to what in the world? Peace to everybody out there. I don't know, man. We got speckles and crazy. It must be my tie-dye shirt tonight. All right, hey, man, thanks for coming in tonight. Please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you were here. And don't forget to share my videos with all your friends. If you'd like to go down to the description of this race and click on that link over to the Fanatec website, help me out here at TurnLeftTV. I greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to make a donation there. If you'd like to make a donation, there's a button right up there at the top of the banner of the channel. You can make a donation straight through PayPal. So we got a good one for you here tonight at Riverside. Fun track. We'll take a look at the track here at Riverside. 2.62 miles in length, 4.22 kilometers in length, 9 turns. Man, we missed this track so much. What a great track it was. Man, this would be a fantastic one to have in the stock cars today. But unfortunately, we got it here in the virtual world, and this should be a fun race. And again, thanks for coming in. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster, commentator. And we got a fun race here. Race number 6 of 10. So in the back half of that season, a lot of guys were requesting some road course action. We threw out here Riverside, so this was a request. So going to be a fun one here in the Buschwackers Series tonight. Take a look at the schedule here, and you see Riverside tonight here on the back half of the season. Next week, we got Nashville, Chicagoland, following that Indianapolis Motor Speedway on August the 13th, and Atlanta Motor Speedway finishing out the season on the 20th of August. We will take a look at the qualification results. Lucas Simpson, top time, going 12.370. Claudio Bardelli Jr. qualifies in the second position. Third is Ed Palumbo. Tim Lansbury qualifies for. Todd Robillard in the 90 qualifies in the fifth position. Preston Hassell qualifies in the sixth position. Givaldo Spindola in the 68 qualifies seventh. Jim Willis in the 53 starts in the eighth position. Christian Wilson will start ninth, and Chris Hughes starts in the 10th position. Hopefully we got a somewhat of a seamless little broadcast here so far. So, man, we've had some trouble early on, but we got this bad boy restarted, and looks like we're ready to go. So, man, I'll tell you what, I was shucking and jiving. It was like a 5 till, maybe 10 till. I think it was 10 till when I started the broadcast, and then the thing just shut off. So we're working our way through it. So we got guys out on the track doing some laps. Ricky Emerson is choosing Luca tonight. It's probably a pretty good choice. Picking the ringer. Tomorrow, what do we have coming up for you? We got the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series back in action at Okayama. What a great track, man. 50-minute race there. Racing will start at 2:30 p.m. I'm going to start the stream probably about 2:15 or so. Actually, about 2 o'clock probably. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to watch the stream, come on out to TurnLeftTV. And then also, if you're interested in joining up and doing some racing with us, you can always click on go up there in the banner and take a look at our Discord address and follow that over to High Octane Racing League. So the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series headed your way tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's take a look at the season standings coming into tonight. Colin Matiak not here tonight, on vacation. That's going to hurt him a little bit in the standings. Top 206 points there. Claudio Bardelli Jr. second in points. Just behind him is Artur Vieira, who is not here tonight. Sean Jacobs also not here tonight, fourth in points. Todd Robillard fifth. Givaldo Spindola is sixth. Lucas Simpson coming into tonight in the seventh position. Jim Willis comes in eighth. Zach Buncasey ninth. Christian Wilson comes in the 10th position. Saturday Night Thunder will be back in action tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 100 laps from Chicagoland. That is a fun track, man. A great mile-and-a-half track. I really would. I'm not going to throw this in the cookie cutter basket there with all those cookie cutter tracks, but it is a mile-and-a-half track, but it's a little bit more unique, I think, than some of these other cookie cutters. So it's going to be a fun race. If you'd like to come out and join us, the Discord address there at the bottom of the banner. My keys to the race with the help of Ricky Emerson. Race the track, man. Any road course, that's going to be a standard key to the race. Make sure you hit your marks. This thing isn't a hugely technical track. I mean, it's more of a kind of an all-out road course. Hit your marks, hit your braking points. Make sure you manage those braking points, and then choose when you're going to attack. You've got to be smart here on when you want to try to make passes. And I'd say coming up through those S's up to that hard right-hand turn, the uphill right-hand turn, is probably not the place to make a pass. Maybe on that right-hand turn, but definitely not, I don't think through those S's as we're watching Preston Hassell go through these now. It's probably not a great place to pass. So choose the places where you're going to attack and make passes. Those are my keys to the race here. And again, thanks for Ricky Emerson and his contribution to that as well. All right, just a little over a minute left to go here in the warm-up session. Glenn Wilson joining us in the chat session. I wonder who he's going to be cheering for. Well, I guess I got to get my pick in here. My pick to win this race is going to be so what? Todd Robillard not picking himself? What? He's going to pick Claudio Bargelli Jr. and Ricky Emerson. He's picking Luca, I believe. Glenn Wilson probably going to choose Christian Wilson, I think. I'm choosing Tim Lansbury. That's who I think is going to win this race. He's pretty solid at this track. All right, boys and girls, here we go. This is going to be fast and furious. "35 laps here at Riverside tonight. Race number 6 on the back half of that season now.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
All right, here we go. The starting order here tonight. Lucas Simpner starts in P1. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the 91 starts in second, and Palumbo third. Tim Lansbury fourth. Todd Robillard starts in the 5th position. Preston Hassell 6th. Givaldo Spindola in the 68 starts 7th. Jim Willis will start in the 8th position in the 53. Christian Wilson in the 30 car will start 9th. And starting in 10th is Chris Hughes. All right, no caution flags here, just sector cautions only. These guys will sort of be single file for the most part until they get on the front stretch, and they'll go double, too wide, just to kind of avoid some accidents and so forth. You'll see some guys too wide there, but on the pace lap. So this is Riverside International. It's 2.62 miles, 4.22 kilometers in length, 9 turns. Not a hugely technical track, and this thing is all out, man. So like I said, race the track. Hit your braking points. Choose the point of attack. Choose wisely. You got a lot of places to be able to make some passes here, so it's not a hugely technical track, as I've mentioned. But nonetheless, got to make sure you try to keep that car on the track. Maintain your composure. 35 laps. This thing's going to go by in a hurry, I believe. What a shame that this track does not really exist anymore. I kept thinking, man, maybe they'll just recreate this track and realize how great this track was. Here we go, boys and girls.
Green flag, go, go, go.
Boogity, 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 boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Claudio Bardelli Jr. jumping out to the lead there early. Gets around Luca on the start. So far, pretty clean start here for everybody. Claudio Bardelli Jr. the leader. Lucas Simpner in second. Ed Palumbo running in the 3rd position. Tim Lansbury is 4th. Lansbury and Robillard there having a good battle. Robillard in the 90 car. Tim Lansbury in the 82 Skyline Chili Ford Mustang trying to hold off that 90 car. That 90 car's got a heck of a run here. On board here with Tim Lansbury entering that stock car corner right there. Take a look at Preston Hassell here in the 27 car. Want to have a good night here. Just came back from vacation. Said he still got sand in his shorts. Well, this is not the track for you then, because you're going to get more sand in and other regions. Yeah, Palumbo, Tim Lansbury here having a battle. Tim Lansbury in the 82, Ed Palumbo in that 54 car. And good three-way battle here between the 54, 82, and the 90. On board here with Tim Lansbury. He's running in P4. And Palumbo just ahead of him in the third position. Oblard has sort of backed off there just a little bit. Christian Wilson looking to try to get around that 53. It looks like he got around, and those guys battling side by side. He's going to be able to hold on to that position. He had a little bit of a rough turn there. 53 and 30 side by side. The 7 of Chris Hughes in this mix as well. And still side by side. Jim Willis there backs off. Christian Wilson showing some muscle there through that turn. So now holding on to that 8th position. We'll take a look at this. This here's Jim Willis came off track right there. Christian Wilson coming by on his right side and taking that spot, but then coming off around the hill here, he has a little bit of trouble right there. Misses that turn. Jim Willis pushing hard and trying to get back by, but Christian holds him off. Looking out of the back of Christian Wilson's machine. Right there, you see that trouble he had and almost gave up that spot. Tim Lansbury there getting a little bit hot there into the turn. Oh, Tim Lansbury into the wall. Lansbury in the 82 smacks the wall. Man, did you see that? That was a heck of a bit of contact there for Lansbury. Watch this. He has just carried a ton of speed. He is totally out of control right there. It smacks the wall. And that 82 just destroyed. That's Lucas Simpner, Claudio Bardelli Jr. having a battle. Simpner in the 21 car. That Flex Seal sponsor machine. That Mustang versus the Camaro. The 91 of Claudio Bardelli Jr. Bardelli Jr. has the preferred line. As Simpner on the high line there around the turn. Not able to pull off that pass. Claudio Bardelli Jr. holding on to that spot. Simpner looking like he wants to get around again. He is showing some aggressiveness. Side by side there, Bardelli Jr. and Simpner. Bardelli Jr. going to hold on to that spot. On board here with Lucas Simpner. Right now running in P2. Take a look at Ed Palumbo here in the 54 car. He's right now running in the 3rd position. Good run here for the 54. Todd Robillard now up to P4. Preston Hassell is 5th. Givaldo Spindola, he's running in the 6th position. Have a pretty good run here for him. Putting a little heat on Preston Hassell in that 27 car. Oh, man, he comes off the turn there and smacks the wall. He's going to have some left side damage to that 68 car. How about Givaldo, man? Givaldo comes in early. I mean early. He comes in early. He comes in and lays down a couple chat messages in the YouTube chat. One of the friendliest guys out there, really. One of our great Brazilian drivers. Look at that, Preston Hassell. And what's Preston doing? Preston going up the side of that bank there and going to give up a spot to Givaldo. Givaldo had to be thinking, hey, man, what you doing, bro? What are you doing? Preston, take a look at this replay here as Preston misses this turn, and one thing leads to another. He's up on the side of this bank. And going to give up a spot there to Givaldo, who stays in the gas and gets around. Tim Lansbury there trying to bounce back. He had some hard front end contact with the wall. Right now running in the 7th position. Chris Hughes running in P8 now. Sort of a quiet night here so far for him. But a good run running in the 8th position in that 7 car. Got 29, about 30 seconds off the race leader right now. Jim Willis came in late, said he didn't get a lot of practice on this track, and the 53 car here trying to get a good finish in that Black Rifle Coffee Company sponsored machine. Oh, and he misses that turn right there, man. I tell you, he must have some boogered up tires because he really missed that turn and gets into the corner. A little bit hot. Back up here, the race leader, Claudio Bardelli Jr. Man, this guy does a lot of sim racing. I watch his YouTube channel. He is always doing some sim racing, man. Whether it be rFactor 2, he does F1. Saw he was doing some NASCAR Heat today. I've seen him on Assetto Corsa as well, I believe. So a lot of racing here for the 91 car. Claudio Bardelli Jr. Lucas Simpner right there with him. Look at that out of the back, Claudio Bardelli Jr.'s machine at Lucas Simpner in that 21 car. Luca does a good job here of helping us set up, get us set up here and also giving us some advice on checking servers and so forth, giving us some advice on what we need to change. We got something set up incorrectly. Luca's right there to help us out. Tim Lansbury here looking to make a pass on Preston Hassell. 27, Preston Hassell goes wide there in the turn as the 82 trying to bounce back here, now up to the 6th position. Preston Hassell back to 7th. Good battle there between the two of those guys. And 82 Skyline Chili Ford Mustang, Tim Lansbury now back up to P6. Take a look at Todd Robillard here running in P4. He said he's the one who requested this track. I said, we got to put a road course on here. We're going to figure out which one it is. And right off the bat, he said Riverside. Let's do it. So here he is. We'll blame it on that 90 car. Right now, we're having a good night here running in P4. In that Freightliner sponsored machine. Take a look at Lucas Simpner here in the Flexio sponsored Mustang. And really putting some pressure on Claudio Bardelli Jr. Looks like a braking there just a little bit better for Simpner. He closes in on the 91. See him kind of backing off that turn. Maybe taking a little bit wider entry into the corner. Bardelli Jr., man, I'll tell you, he is that race program has really improved since he started out with us. He has really come into his own. I mean, each and every race he comes out, he is someone on the radar for winning the race. He's won several races with us here recently. And I tell you what, man, once you get on a roll, it's hard to stop those guys. So 91 having a pretty good night here, but Lucas Simpner going to keep him honest. And that Flexio sponsored Mustang. Simpner's got a good run here, and he's looking on the inside. Simpner trying to beat Bardelli Jr. into the turn, and Bardelli Jr. uses that outside and pulls back into the front. Simpner got around him just a little bit, but not able to pull off that pass. A good tight battle right there. Take a look at Christian Wilson here. He's having a little bit of a rough night here, running in the 10th position. I tell you what, man. I mean, if you're kind of new to rFactor 2, really think that road courses are one of those things that's kind of an acquired taste. You got to really get out, do a lot of laps, a lot of practice laps, and get very, very comfortable with the road course situation. There's no better way to get used to it than get out here on the track and get on the track and turn some laps. Look at this, man. We got a battle for the race lead. Lucas Simpsoner in the 21. Bardelli Jr. in the 91. Simpsoner on the outside on this turn. Can he hold off Bardelli Jr.? Bardelli Jr. trying to fight back there on the inside. Look at that. This is a battle for the race lead here, 10 laps in. Simpsoner in the 21, the 91 of Claudio Bardelli Jr. Good side-by-side racing right there. Bardelli Jr. getting back by the 21 car. What a heck of a battle right there. On board here with Lucas Simpsoner. These guys coming up on some lap traffic now. Trying to choose wisely when they make a pass. Oh, right there. Oh. Some shenanigans. The 30 comes around, and Bardelli Jr. made a little bit of contact. That allows Ed Palumbo to come up on there in this mix as well. But Bardelli Jr. made some contact, although I don't think pretty significant contact, with Christian Wilson. Very, very interesting there. Take a look here as Christian Wilson has some trouble coming off the turn. He gets that car a little bit loose right there, and then Bardelli Jr. into the side, into the door, and slips through. But man, it could have been disastrous for Bardelli Jr. On board here with him, you see Christian there has some trouble as he does make it through. But I'll tell you what, that's kind of the best case scenario if you're going to make contact with somebody. That's the best case scenario. There is kind of a limited contact. As Christian Wilson now on pit lane taking service. Tim Lansbury and Givaldo Spindola. Givaldo goes wide right there. Oh, it looked like he was going to get around Tim Lansbury, but the 82 outbrakes him. Givaldo missed his braking point in that 68 car and gets into the wall. Take a look at 53, Jim Willis running in the 9th position. This 53 car here. He's had a pretty good season so far, and wanting to get a good finish here tonight. Chris Hughes in the 7, running in 8th position right now. Last car on the lead lap. One of our new drivers here, really showing a lot of promise too. This is his first season with HORL, and again, really showing a lot of promise there. That race program with the Camaro. Preston Hassell here in the 27, running in P7 right now. He's closing in on Givaldo Spindola. Preston says he's not that comfortable with the road courses. He really prefers these ovals. But honestly, I think this is the easiest road course that you're going to be driving here in stock cars. Definitely easier than Watkins Glen. Most people know Watkins Glen, pretty well. So looking out of the back of Givaldo's machine at Preston Hassell back there in that 27 car. He's got about a second and a half separating the two. Givaldo there burning up those left side tires going through that turn. I think Ed Palumbo might be on pit lane. So Ed Palumbo on pit lane, I believe, or finishing up his pit stop anyway. So he's lost a position there. Tim Lansbury on pit lane. Finishing up his pit stop, coming back out in that 82 car. So this battle for the race lead, man, is tight. These guys have been in each other's zip code all night long. Robillard indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane, so we see him shoot for pit lane here. As Bardelli Jr. continuing to lead in the 91 car. Robillard on pit lane in the 90. And they're coming up on some lap traffic there. The 91 coming up on the 30 car again. Again, kind of a tough spot there to catch the 30. Bardelli Jr. is way off the track. They're trying to keep from getting into that 30 car. Not advancing his position. The 91. Oh, man, it almost got crazy there again. As Luca gets by as well. Todd Robillard back out on track. Preston Hassell on pit lane. Givaldo Spindola on pit lane. Chris Hughes on pit lane. I'll tell you what, I think that got a little crazy. Watch this. Watch this exit of pit lane here. Oh, there was some contact there coming off pit lane. Preston Hassell and Givaldo Spindola get together. Coming off pit lane. We got a battle for the race lead. Luca Simpner taking the race lead as Claudio Bardelli Jr. on pit lane. So Luca to the race lead. Bardelli Jr. coming off pit lane. So a quick little pit for him as Luca trying to get around that 27 car. Preston Hassell running in the 6th position. So Luca Simpner, our race leader in 21, he has not made a pit stop yet. Take a look at Todd Robillard here in the 90. Running in P4. Got a little bit of work to do to close in on P3, which is Ed Palumbo. In the 54 car, 20 laps to go. Bardelli Jr. is running in P2. Now remember, he has made that pit stop. Lucas Simpner on pit lane. Actually finishing up that pit stop there and maintaining the race lead. How in the world did that happen? So Lucas Simpner on pit road and maintains the lead. I guess he gained the lead by when Bardelli Jr. came back down pit lane, but Luca, he's got these setups figured out, man. He's got that pit strategy, that tire strategy figured out. A little bit different wheelhouse here with the road course, but nonetheless, you got to think, this guy's always sort of working that calculator, man. Figuring out what the strategy is going to need to be at this race, whatever track he comes to. And I suspect Luke is going to be out for the GT3 race tomorrow at Okayama as well. He and Will Dunbar teaming up a little bit, running as a 2-driver team. 2-car team. So look at that battle right there for the race lead, heating up. Bardelli Jr., Luca Simpner. Good tight battle here between the two of these guys. Christian Wilson kind of pulling over and letting those guys fight it out. Oh, Luca there, overcorrection, gets off track. He is hanging that thing out on a razor's edge right now. Get out of the back of Luca's machine at Claudio Bardelli Jr. And this battle has really been a two-man battle all night long, and Bardelli Jr. there showing some muscle on the inside. Bardelli Jr., does he have enough room to be able to get out the turn? Well, no, he doesn't. The 21 holds on to that spot coming down the front stretch. Bardelli Jr. wants to get around Luca. These guys have been pretty evenly matched all night long, man. One makes a mistake, the other capitalizes. The other makes a mistake, returns the favor. Hitting your marks, that's what you got to do, is hit those marks. And Palumbo, great night here for him so far. This 54 car running in P3. About 3 seconds behind the race leader. Say 4 seconds behind the race leader, 3 seconds behind P2. Robillard here in the 90 car running in the 4th position. Freightliner sponsor Camaro looking pretty solid here tonight. Good, looking to maybe take home a top 5 finish. So that gap there, about half a second between the two of these guys, P1, P2. Definitely the best battle on the track right now. Look at there, hitting his marks. Bardelli Jr. maybe overdriving just a little bit. That gap now 0.8 of a second. See Bardelli Jr. just missing the exit of that turn, where you got to kind of go back to the right and scrubbing off some speed. So now about 0.9 of a second. So about Tim Lansbury bouncing back here, showing a top 5 run here for that Skyline Chili crew. So he was head on into the wall early in the race. Now holding on here, he is 31 seconds off the race lead, about 10 seconds behind P4. But a good top 5 run for the 82 car. Preston Hassell fresh off vacation, back at it here at the road course at Riverside, running in P6. And that 27 car, Ryzen sponsor machine. Givaldo running in the 7th position. Chris Hughes just behind him in the 7 car. So that's starting to tighten up a little bit. Now Givaldo, he pitted a little bit earlier than the rest of these guys, so kind of got to wonder how these tires are for him. Bardelli Jr. just doing what he can to try to close in. He misses that turn, comes off track just a little bit. Right there, misses the exit of that turn, and that's going to cause him to scrub off some more speed. So he's about 1.5 seconds behind Lucas Simpner, who's just continuing to stretch that out slowly but surely. Chris Hughes in the 7 car. Running on board here with him, running in the 8th position. See Bardelli, looks like Givaldo coming off track there, letting Luca go by. And I'll tell you what, man, we got some lap traffic there in between Bardelli Jr. And Bardelli Jr. right there has got to get around these two guys. He gets around the 7 car. Looking out of the front of the 7's machine at Bardelli Jr. He's now got to get around Givaldo. It's definitely not going to help you there. Now you're going to have to hope that Luca has a couple bad corners here, so he's having some trouble getting around the 68 car, and he does finally get around the 68, but that's going to cost him some time. He's now 3.5 seconds behind the race leader. Bardelli Jr. here, he gets around a couple lap cars, but he had a little bit of trouble getting around the 68 car. He is continuing to lose time here to, oh man, both those guys up the track there. It's like synchronized wall hitting. More contact for those guys. These guys are out of tires, man. These guys have got to be out of tires. The 68 into 7, they keep following each other straight into the wall here. We'll see how they navigate through this turn. I think their tires are used up. Those left side tires, I think, are just burned up. See Jim Willis there letting those guys go. He had some trouble there with that turn. 53. Well, Sintner continuing to expand that lead. Almost 4 seconds now on Claudio Bardelli Jr. here on lap 22. He came in tonight confident that he had the car to beat. And he is not disappointed. He is the one who's made the fewest mistakes between the two of those guys. Chris Hughes here battling Givaldo. Chris Hughes in the 7 car going to follow that 53. Excuse me, that 54 car. So the 7 of Chris Hughes make this pass on Givaldo Spindola. Now taking over the 7th position. Givaldo now back to 8th. So Chris Hughes picking up a spot here late in the race. I don't think that battle's over, man. Givaldo wants that spot back. Luca just needs to hit his marks, man. Braking points, race the track, hit your marks. And that's exactly what he's doing. Christian Wilson there having some trouble, I believe. Christian Wilson there off the track there in the turn. You see him visiting some campsites. Coming back out on track here. So we see Givaldo and Chris Wilson going by. Or Chris Hughes, I should say. Chris Wilson also going by here, but Chris Hughes missed this turn. Givaldo ready to pounce. Takes that spot back. So see Christian Wilson there off the track. See what happened to Christian Wilson. I think he just missed the turn. Gets a little bit, oh yeah, just missed the turn there. Oh, and then hard into the fence. He's trying to get that thing straightened back up and get it back out on track. And Givaldo and Chris Hughes going to go by. You see those guys going by. There's Preston Hassell, actually. Luca going by. So I don't know what's going on there, man. He's probably picking his drink up off the floorboard. Spilled his lemonade. Willis and Wilson shown on pit lane right now as well. Well, that lead has diminished. Now, Luca may be kind of playing that game where he's like, hey, man, I'm just going to relax here. I'm not going to push this too hard. He's got a 3.5 second lead. Now, Sintner is didn't have too much traffic to deal with, but I'll tell you what, Bardelli Jr. is having some trouble getting around the 27 car here, Preston Hassell, and that's caused him to scrub off some time. It was under 3 seconds now, back up to over 4 seconds gap between the two. Got 10 laps to go here As 91, trying to use some fresher tires to close in on Lucas Simpner. A couple laps fresher tires on that 91 car. And Ed Palumbo here running in P3. He's been in P3 pretty much all night long. That Mellow Yellow sponsor machine. So good run here for Ed Palumbo. He doesn't really like these road courses too much, but showing some strength here at Riverside. Robillard also having a pretty quiet night. He's been about P4. And I'll tell you what, he's indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane here, so maybe these guys have to do a second pit stop. Palumbo on pit lane. So that tells me this guy's got to pit a second time. Robillard coming down pit lane. Oh boy. Take a look at the Lucas Simpner continuing to lead, and Palumbo finishing up that pit stop. Coming back out on track. Todd Robillard on pit lane. 82, Tim Lansbury on pit lane. So 90 car coming back out on track. So now Ricky is bringing a really good point up in the chat session. And that is basically he's thinking that Luca might be close enough that he might be able to make it on just one stop. Is Claudio Bardelli Jr. likely going to have to make a second pit stop? Interesting. What was I talking about earlier, man? I mean, this guy's figured it out. He's known. Now he's got that reputation for saving his fuel and winning races on fuel mileage. Not to say that this guy can't drive the wheels off the thing. He definitely can, but he's also known for snookering some guys on pit strategy. So Bardelli Jr. in second, Palumbo third, Robillard is fourth. Lansbury is in the fifth position. Remember, he kind of backed up back into Bardelli Jr.'s zip code. There's Bardelli Jr. coming down pit lane. As he mentioned, he backed up to Bardelli Jr. there briefly, and probably he's saving some fuel, as Ricky Emerson now pointing out. So Bardelli Jr. on pit lane here late in the race, finishing up that pit stop, coming back out for his final pit stop. So this 21, is he going to get another win here this season? This could be the night. Got a pretty comfortable lead now over P2. Does he have to make a pit stop? I think he went a couple laps longer than Bardelli Jr. on that first run, so he might have what he needs to be able to finish this race on just one pit stop. Chris Hughes in the 7 car. Going to get around Givaldo. I think Givaldo's come off track. Lucas Simpner indicating he's coming down pit lane. So that is going to answer that question. Simpner indicating he is going to make a pit stop here. So keep your eye on the 21. So we know he has to come down pit lane. He's already indicating that he's going to be making a pit stop. This will be huge. So Bardelli Jr. is 35 seconds off the race lead. By the time that Luca comes off pit lane, or off the track, down pit lane, here we go, we see the 21, gets into his pit stall, gets off pit lane, and then back out on the track. Where will Bardelli Jr. be? 21. You know he's just going to take a splash of fuel. He's taking some tires here. A little bit of fuel here for the 21. A little bit longer than I suspected. He's going to have a pretty comfortable lead, I believe. Bardelli Jr. just now coming down the front stretch. So about 7 seconds there separating the two. Now the work begins, huh? Luca's going to have fresh tires. You know, we changed tires. You see Bardelli Jr. now back in the hunt there, 2.7 seconds, but he is on older tires. 21 has fresh tires. But if anybody can pull this off, it is Claudio Bardelli Jr. 1.9 seconds now. 1.7. Closing in. About 2 seconds separating the two of those guys. Again, 21 on fresh tires. Here on lap 30. Take a look at P1, P2. Luca Simpner running in first. Bardelli Jr. in second. And Palumbo third. Todd Robillard in fourth. Tim Lansbury running in the fifth position. Look at Tim Lansbury here running in P5 in that 82 car. 5 laps to go. A little locking up the tires there entering the turn. Chris Hughes on pit lane, taking some service. Getting around Givaldo there on pit lane, so Chris Hughes up to the 7th position. Late race pit stop. Bardelli Jr. is there. I tell you what, man, all you've got to do is miss a turn, and Bardelli Jr. is all over the back of Luca Simpner right now. Luca definitely sees where Bardelli Jr. is at. 0.7 of a second here. Bardelli Jr. driving the wheels off this thing. Luca there going a little bit wide in the turn. Bardelli Jr. closing in to that 21 car. 21 gets a shot off the turn. Good battle here. Christian Wilson there getting out of the way, letting these guys fight it out. Where the handling matters right there through the S's, that Luca's a little bit better than the 91, but the 91 keeping him honest. You're on lap 32. Gotta hit your marks. It's one of the things I mentioned as a key to the race. Hit your marks. Race the track. Easy for me to say. There's a 21 there. 0.7 of a second ahead of Claudio Bardelli Jr. A little bit wider, see right there, but he's going to get the exit off the turn. Bardelli Jr. is right there, but at 21 has a shot off the turn. Opens up that gap. 0.4 of a second. You saw that the last time. You saw Simpner really hugging that wall. And I think Bardelli Jr. is going to take some chances here. We got 3 laps to go. What a great battle here. Luca Simpner, Claudio Bardelli Jr., the young gun, the Brazilian. The Brazilian sensation versus the Canadian nightmare. I'll get some hate mail from that one, I'm sure. Tell you what, this is anybody's race right here between the two of these guys. These guys could take each other out. Don't forget, Ed Palumbo could be sitting in the catbird seat here. Look, Bardelli Jr. on the inside. He's got a nose underneath the 21. See the 21 getting that shot off the turn, and we got some lap traffic in the way. Got a little bit of lap traffic in the way, and that's going to cause the 21 to scrub off some speed. Oh, there's some contact between the 91 and the 21. Contact right there, man. Jim Willis kind of couldn't get over fast enough. 21, oh man, that was the best case scenario there, I think, for him to be able to come out of that where he did. 2 laps to go. Wow, that got crazy. That got crazy. Take a look at Todd Robillard here running in P4. Trying to hold on to that spot. Lansbury closing in on him. It's about 8 seconds back, but I tell you, man, you miss a turn, and he is right there. Bardelli Jr. now half a second back, trying to find a way to close in on this 21 car. He's been pretty good on this turn. We've got some lap traffic now. Got some lap traffic right here that could play a factor. Simpner there on the throttle. One more lap to go. Lucas Simpner. You see Spindola there way in the grass to get out of the way. As Lucas stepping on the gas there and opening up that lead. 8/10, almost a second now for Luca. Bardelli Jr. trying to find a way. Missing that chicane, or missing that S's. Coming up to the right-hander. So the 21 of Lucas Simpner. Now a second lead. Bardelli Jr. driving the wheels off that thing. As the 21 of Lucas Simpner coming up the hill. Little left-hander here. Big right-hand turn. And he, tell you what, Bardelli Jr. really, I think, used up his stuff trying to hold on to the 21 car. The 21 coming off the final turn is going to take this victory here at Riverside. Bardelli Jr. going to finish in the second position. Oh. So congratulations to Lucas Simpner on getting the win. So congratulations to the 21 of Lucas Simpner, that Flex Seal sponsored team in P1. So congratulations, Lucas Simpner, on getting the win. Big win here at Riverside. So congratulations to Lucas Simpler doing that burnout there. Congratulations to him. Great race for him. Very interesting there at the end, too. I'll tell you what, Bardelli Jr. kept him honest. He did a great job of putting some pressure there on the 21. We'll take a look at the session results here. Lucas Simpsoner gets a race win here at Riverside. Bardelli Jr. finishes in P2. Ed Palumbo finishes third. Todd Robillard fourth. Tim Lansbury in the 82 battles back for a fifth-place finish. Preston Hassell sixth. Chris Hughes, good run here for him, finishing in the seventh position. Givaldo Spindola finishes in eighth in a 68 car. Jim Willis finishes in the ninth position. Christian Wilson finishes in 10th. Well, we got a little funkiness going on with the picture tonight. Got a mess here with this picture. My gosh. There we go. I think we finally got it. So congratulations to Lucas Simpsoner getting the win here at Riverside. A fantastic run for him. We'll see if we can't pull Luca up here in the broadcast booth with us. All right, congratulations, Luca, on coming away with a victory here at Riverside.
That's me.
Well, you know that you had a good battle there with Bardelli Jr. and looked like it was going to come down to pit strategy. Really, you know, you pitted late, and then kind of that standard operating procedure for you. And Bardelli Jr. had something for you there after the pit stop, though.
After the second pit stop, I was kind of scared how much he actually caught up, honestly. But mostly, I was actually really scared about the very first at the start, because he just, you know, went right past me, and I was like, I didn't even think that was possible, and I didn't even expect that.
We didn't have a lot of drivers out tonight, only 10 drivers, but it didn't seem really that lap traffic was a huge problem. There were a few instances, I think, where you guys had some issues with some lap traffic. For the most part, though, it was just a two-man race.
I thought that the lap traffic could have been an issue, although I think most of the time it just happened to be down to luck almost, that we always got them in the S's, so you can't really pass in the S's. It's basically impossible. So by having the lap traffic there, it's not really an issue. But overall, I don't think this track in general has an issue with lap traffic.
Looked like that last turn, you like to take that wide, staying on the outside there close to the wall. Bardelli Jr. was kind of cutting that turn a little bit, and you were getting a shot off the turn. But I tell you, he was using that entry into the turn to really catch you there on that last maybe 5-10 laps.
I was pretty spooked, actually, that he might try one down the inside and I wouldn't be able to do anything. but I think that I just had just enough tires on him. He never would have had an advantage.
Well, great win at Riverside. What a fun track. Next week, you got Nashville Super Speedway. How do you feel about that track?
Well, I don't know. It's an alright track. It'll probably come down to tire savings, I think, personally, but I could be wrong. Maybe fuel, too. That'll be exciting. It comes down to fuel saving. But overall, it'll probably be alright.
Well, you got another big race tomorrow at Okayama with your teammate, Will Dunbar. What's your feeling about the GT3 series coming up tomorrow?
Might not get time for the GT3 series, actually, but the Saturday night one, I will be there for sure.
All right. That's going to disappoint your teammate, I'll tell you that.
Well, you know what? He can live with it. He'll have to live with it. I'm not driving his car.
That's right.
So, I don't know.
All right, man. Well, hey, congratulations. Good win. Always exciting, and good to see the number 21 Flex Seal sponsored Mustang in victory lane.
Thank you very much, Heath Johnson.
All right, that's Lucas Simpler joining us up in the booth. He's getting a little bit more comfortable with these interviews, I think. Has very insightful, really. I mean, just does a fantastic job. He does a lot of work in helping create some setups too, and also again as a sort of monitoring, make sure things are set up correctly on the servers and so forth. So really valuable member for us here at HORL. Well, as I mentioned, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series will be in action at Okayama. 50-minute race. It's race number 3 of the season. And this should be a great one, man. 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the start time. And don't forget, you can catch it live right here on TurnLeftTV. And then as Luca mentioned, we got another race coming up on Saturday night. It's Chicagoland in the Saturday Night Thunder. High Octane Racing League's Cup Series. And this should be a fun one. Race number 4 of the season. Starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a little after 9. And I think I'll be racing in this race. So if you'd like to come out and join us, you can always, as the guys were teasing me last week, beat the broadcaster night. So if you'd like to come out and beat up on the broadcaster here at TurnLeftTV, come on out, man. Saturday Night Thunder. Open setups, 1X tires, 1X fuel, 60% damage. That's tomorrow at Chicagoland Speedway. Again, we'll take a look at the schedule here. We got Nashville coming up next week, Chicagoland on August the 6th, followed by Indianapolis Motor Speedway on August the 13th, and then Atlanta Motor Speedway on August the 20th. That's what we have here in the Buschwackers season. Tonight's race has been brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you're interested in an rFactor 2 server, no matter whether you're here in the United States or whether you're in some other part of the world, you can find a local server package to fit you. 3 self-managed packages to choose from. That's EliteHostingUSA.com for rFactor 2 servers. Don't forget to join us over at highoctaneracing.net. You'll get good screenshots of victories for race car drivers. You'll get an update on the points. Also, rFactor 2 times if you're interested in seeing who's doing what throughout the week. Get an idea of where you stand. There's a good link there for TurnLeftTV as well, and a good way to contact us if you're interested in doing some racing. I want to say thank you so much for coming out to TurnLeftTV and joining me here. Sparkly again. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I need a new video cam, apparently. So, hey, thanks so much for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Peace to everybody out there. Man, I got to go back to work here in a few weeks. I'm not liking it. I'm liking this. I want to do this all the time. Hey, thanks for coming in, and appreciate you joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Don't forget to go down in the description of the race and help me out. Follow those links over to the Fanatec website. And then also, please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you were here. Appreciate your patronage here at TurnLeftTV. That's going to do it for us tonight here on TurnLeftTV. And you know what that means? I am howdy.